Hi, welcome to Knits by the Sea. My name is Ellie, and today we're going to talk about blocking hats. So I know often the big problem with blocking hats is that you want it to be slouchy on the back, but tight around the head. For obvious reasons, want it to stay on, in case of that big windstorm or hey, just walking around. So that's kind of the challenge with blocking hats, and a lot of people have asked me what I do for blocking. So I'm making a little video to show you. So a couple of the hats that I like to block are the lace ones, because obviously you want it to be blocked out a bit more to show the lace pattern in it. Color work ones as well, just to kind of block out the color in case it puckers a little bit on the edges where you've done the color work, or sometimes even just a basic hat. Sometimes I'll knit mine maybe 8 or 9 inches long before starting to decrease so that I have a little slouch in the back. And I don't actually change needle sizes just because I'm lazy and I know that I can block it out later. So let me show you how to block out your hat. So I have right now in my little bowl here my hat that's been soaking. So usually before I block something, I'll soak it in soap wash. Ta-da! For about 15 minutes, just because I really like soap, but any kind of wash will do, because soap you don't need to rinse, which I love. Again, back to the whole, I'm kind of lazy about that. And also it smells lovely, and then it's fresh and clean and ready to wear once you're done. So this little hat here has been soaking for 15 minutes, and what I'm going to do is pull it out. Give it a good little squish there. Squish. And then what I do is I like to just kind of squeeze it dry in a towel as well. So I will just kind of roll it a little bit and just give it another little squish in the towel just to get rid of any excess water. No matter what, it's still going to be super drippy. Not super drippy, but pretty wet, obviously. So you might want to put a towel underneath if you're putting it on top of a drying rack, just for extra excess water. So, plastic bags. I have these, of course, after all my lovely grocery shopping and stuff like that. And all I do is you're just going to stuff the hat. Now this is already a pretty large hat, so it may look a little ridiculous right now with it all being so wet, but all I'm doing is stuffing the actual part of the hat, and I'm making sure where the ribbing is staying cinched. So what you're going to do is just stuff this hat to the size that you want it to be. I want this to actually be a really slouchy big hat, which is why it seems so ridiculously large. And you fill it to where you think is going to work for you, making sure that the base is always kept together. So what I'm going to do for this, little elastic, hair elastic is what I've used, but I'm sure anything will do in a pinch. And I'm just going to put an elastic right around where the ribbing begins on the hat, because that's the only spot that I want to not be stretched out. And it kind of looks like a balloon. Woohoo! So I'm going to leave this to dry like this, and that's how I'm going to block my hats so that the edge stays tighter around the head, but the outer part is stretched out more. This works for any kind of hat. And often, put that down there, the other question I get is what happens over time, the elastic around the hat kind of loosens up. A great suggestion I got from this lovely lady Diane is when you're making the jewelry, there's little elastic bands that you can get from jewelry making stores, or probably just from your local Michaels or something like that. If you weave that into the edge of the hat, that'll add a little extra elastic to it, and it's super thin because you use it for jewelry, so it's not going to be really obvious. And you can use a darning needle, which is perfect because I really don't like to sew very much. So an easy solution there for you too. Hope this helped. Subscribe to our channel. I do videos all the time, and happy knitting.